Hello guys, and welcome to the fourth race of the 1 hour The Human Comedy mission challenges. So this time on Autopolis, 11 times fuel depletion and 20 times tire wear here, so by far the most demanding on that front. Only on comfort soft tires. This is in German, KW, but in the English version it's KS. So what is it? Well, K soft tires, and only no, you can use different cars. 400 pp is the limit performance points. I chose this Honda S660 because it is very stable. It is a really good car. The Hatsu Copen might be even more stable, but it has front wheel drive, if I'm not mistaken, and that can cost you a lot, you know, on tire wear, so I wouldn't advise using that really if it's indeed front wheel drive. I did a few mistakes, as you've just seen, but yeah, the Honda is a good choice. I think the one I chose. As always, if there is need to get to the maximum PP, I did tune it as far as I could, you know, to maximize the performance points. And concerning the strategy, so that you don't have to watch the entire race, I'll just check out my spreadsheet here. Yes, Autopolis. As already said, of course, only one tire choice that is clear. Fuel map, I am not quite sure. I can only tell you that you need to use such a fuel map that you always can go for 8 laps, but that is easy, as the game shows you in real time while choosing the fuel maps while driving how far you can go with it. So yeah, you need a fuel map where you can do 8 laps, consecutive laps, because this race is a 2-stopper, 8th lap, 6th and 16th lap for the 2 stops. And traction control I did turn off. You don't really need it. It slows you down too much, I think, in this race. So difficulty wise, I give this race a 6 out of 10. It might actually be 7 out of 10. There is the first stop going, but the pure driving, and yes, I did quite a few mistakes. I mean, they weren't huge, but not that small as well. By the end, I do a very big mistake. I have a huge spin. So the driving itself still needs to be quite decent in order to be able to win. Yeah, I guess it's still a 6 out of 10. You know, if I think about what would have been if I did not leave the track. Oh, hi. This is right now is coming up my fastest lap of the race, as I always do with these human comedy mission challenges, so that you have a good understanding of the braking points and the lines and the apexes. Again, I do not claim to post any world record breaking times, as that's indeed not the case. I'm not doing that, but I have decent lap times, especially, well, the ones that are the fastest of the race, for me at least, that I set. So this lap here was pretty good, the 11th lap, and you can definitely use it as a good example of how to tackle the track concerning all the factors like apexes, braking points, and ID line, and gearing, etc., etc. In fact, this will be the only lap of the race where I will be quicker than the current fastest lap time setter, R. Kokobon, with a 2:27.4, exactly 0.4400. I beat his time quite substantially, actually. I would guess that I did not drive on fuel map 1, and I would guess that the opponents always drive on fuel map 1, but I'm not quite sure. So beating them, although you are not using their fuel map for fast driving, feels always great, and this very lap I did here. Yeah, it was quite satisfactory. Again, not perfect by any means, but it was pretty good. And yeah, again, I did beat his time quite substantially, which you will see in, well, less than half a minute. Well, fresh tires, you know, and having practiced on the track for over 20 minutes, 25 minutes or what, so yeah, for 10 laps before that one means, of course, I could do that. 25.087, so 2.4 on, let's say 2.3 or almost 2.5 seconds quicker than the second quickest car on track. Pretty good. And now again 10 times accelerated through the entire race. I'll tell you one tip of which I've been talking about already, but I'll do it here once more for those who missed it in another race and simply don't know, because I didn't know for a long time. So if you tune the cars for the events, I would advise to tune them slightly above the maximum performance points, and then to buy ballast or weight in the tuning section, which costs you only 500 credits. And then you can, when you buy that, in every case you can add up to 200 kilograms of weight. I don't know what that is in lbs or pounds or whatever. You can Google that. So it's quite substantial. And by adding weight to a car, you would of course lower your performance points. So if you're, by having tuned it, so here's the second stop, by having tuned it, getting it to slightly above the maximum allowed performance points, you can very cost effective and in general effective and efficiently reduce the performance points just slightly, you know, slightly under the maximum, and thus you would have a, well, maximally quick car for each of these events, and of course that makes winning those events a lot easier. You don't really need to maximize the performance points for every single of these events, especially the first free ones, the free ones before this one here I showed. It does not truly require that, to be honest. If it was allowed anyway. Yeah, it was allowed in some instances, but it helps, you know. Concerning this race though, I think it does make a big difference, you know. You should maximize the performance points of your car in this challenge. It makes sense. It's not that easy in this case, you know, in this race. So yeah, if you can, just do it. It will definitely help you winning the race. Yeah, unfortunately I did not beat my fastest time until the end of the race. Could not get it into the 24s, but my 25.087 has not been beaten by an opponent either, so that's pretty cool. I did held the fastest lap of the race until the very end of the race. Yeah, that was the big spin. Lost like 10 seconds. Still won by about 20 seconds or more. So we only have about 10 seconds left, guys, as always. I hope you enjoyed, I hope it was helpful, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.